Thank you so much for having me.
You're very easy to talk to. You know, you're a strong man of your faith, and that's what makes it so easy. We connected like that in the beginning.
What is up? What is up? What is up? Everyone. It is another day, another time, and another week for one of your favorite shows from James H. Glover Studios. I'm talking about Kingdom Boss Wednesday. You all. Look, y'all, look. Ever since we came out with this show, we have been having some major bosses up in the building with us. And tonight, y'all, it's no different. Like this woman of God right here, like she powerful. Like everything she does, everything she touches, is successful. You all, she has helped me in so many ways behind the scenes with James S. Glover Studios. Like, and she still helps me to this day. Like everybody needs somebody like her in their life. So I'm about to read y'all a little bit of her bio, just a little bit. I'm gonna give y'all a snippet. Cortesia Oxford is a multi-passionate and creative strategist, educator, and founder of the branding Oxford the Content Sorority Heavenly Farewells, and the Crafting Casa. Known for transforming complex ideas into visual, digital, and portfolio masterpieces, she empowers she empowers tech challenged entrepreneurs, especially women, to build brands that speak boldly, sell smartly, and stand out online. Through the branding architect, Cortesia helps business owners develop cohesive brand identities, websites, and marketing systems that connect authentically with their audience. Her digital education hub, the Content Sorority, gives creators access to templates, trainings, and mentorship for mastering content creation, social media, and design. Her creative her creativity extends into soulful ventures like Heavenly Farewell, a modern memorial design brand that merges compassion with technology to help families honor their loved ones beautifully, and the Crafting Casa, where handcrafted jewelry and laser engraved design meet digital invocation through NFC enabled networking accessories. So you all. Tonight, I want y'all to sit back. I want y'all to grab y'all's notepad and grab a pen. Cause trust me, I already got one. Because every time I talk to her, I always have a notepad and a pen ready. Because I know I'm gonna come out of here with some kind of gems. So I want y'all to put y'all's blessed hands together for Miss Cortesia Oxford. What is going on?
What's going on? What's going on?
Y'all, so before I get too far into this conversation, I'm gonna let you tell them a little bit more about yourself because I know I just read a snippet of what you do. So tell them a little bit more about yourself.
Hello everybody. I'm Cortesia Oxford. I am in Conley, Georgia, and being in Conley, Georgia, is in the Clayton County area, and I specialize in helping people create businesses. Like a lot of people struggle with creativity, even though they're like, I can go get Chat GPT and all this other stuff. It takes black people hours to get exactly what they need because AI wasn't necessarily created for us or with us in mind. So with my abilities, I'm able to go through and help people create logos, brand identities, photos, photo shoot, branding assets. And I honestly started this by doing funerals first. Like a bunch of
Mhm.
people died all at one time, and then I was doing funeral programs. So then I launched Heavenly Farewells, and then after dealing with things with my health and things like that, I decided to do templates, where it helps people go and download funeral templates. You can go to the content sorority and get templates for your business, your podcast, or anything like that. And just being able to do that and help people be creative is the optimal thing. So it's it's a passion of mine. I love creativity, and I don't hold anything back when it comes to that. So if it's ugly or tacky, I'm gonna tell you it's ugly and tacky.
And trust me, she will, because she has gotten on me a couple of times. Like, sir, what are you doing? And that's why I appreciate her. Because you need somebody that's not gonna play with you about you. And that's what I have when I have somebody like her. And she has definitely, like I said about before I introduced her, she has definitely helped me out a whole lot. And she continues to help me out a whole lot in more ways than she ever knows. So I'm gonna get in and ask you the crazy questions first. What is the craziest thing that you have ever seen while you was creating a funeral obituary or a funeral flyer?
This family came to me because some kind of car accident happened and the boy was beheaded. So I was designing for the funeral and they gave me the information. And sometimes I'm like, okay, thank you so much for this information. But now I have to deal with the nightmares of thinking about somebody being beheaded. And when I saw his mom at church,
Mm.
everybody was like, that's the lady you did the funeral program for. I was trying to avoid her. But she came up to me and hugged me and started crying. And I was like,
And of
I
course, you started ugly crying at that point too.
no, I didn't cry. It was weird. It was weird. I patted her on the back because I was like, I understand what you're going through, losing your child, because I did lose my child, even though it was a miscarriage. But you know, a mother, when you lose your child,
Yeah.
you never forget it. And so when she went through the process and she was just like, you know, crying and stuff like that, I just started thinking back of the story. I'm like, this lady's son was beheaded, and you have to not be judge and jury when you're doing this, because you're doing this to remember people, no matter how silly it may be in the time that you're thinking about it. Because I was like, why would this boy go through the process of running the running away from the police and end up beheaded? Like, you running away and you end up beheaded and somebody else get injured, and it was under a 18 wheeler if I remember correctly. That
Leaving
was,
in the sands.
yeah, that was the most gruesome case. But then, you know, it's always family drama going on with people who are doing funerals. So this family don't like this family, or this family doing something different from this family, or you know, things like that. And I'm just like, I'm just here to do the funeral program. I don't care what y'all got going on. Give me the information that I need and then pay your invoice. I appreciate you. I'm sorry we met under these circumstances, but let's get it moving.
Yeah, like I ain't got time to deal with why you don't fool with auntie such and such.
Yeah, that's irrelevant. Is auntie such and such gonna pay the invoice?
I just need to talk to the person that's gonna pay me my money. On. That's
That's
all I
it.
need to know.
Who gonna pay me my money?
Mm-hmm. Want me my coins.
That's right.
So, okay, how did you get into doing the funeral design, flyers, and all of that. I know you said just a bunch of people started dying at once.
Yeah, so I was 16. Honestly, I was 16 years old, and people dropped like flies. And I was always considered tech savvy, so I was always considered a person who knew how to use computers. So in everybody's mind, because I knew how to use computers, that means you know how to do this too. And I'm a person who says yes even before I know how to do something because I will figure it out. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people. They're so afraid to say yes because they don't know how to do it. And they don't know that in that moment that you can actually fall in love with something or have a passion for something because you're doing something that's not normal. Like you're so afraid to say yes because this person failed. So what? You're afraid to do it because you've never seen it before, but you are the one that's going to do it.
I'm doing.
So when it came down to this, I did like three of them back to back. And then I went off to college thinking I was going to major in biology and Spanish. And, se hablo español también. I love Spanish. My name is Spanish. It means courtesy in Spanish. That was my first college I went to with West Georgia. And I went to University of West Georgia, went through the process, majoring in all of this stuff. Then I ended up getting kicked out because I flunked out of colleges because who has 8 a.m. college classes? And not only that,
And
my
you are the
pro-
morning person.
my professor died. My history professor died in the semester, and when he died, they made us start all the way over and learning this stuff.
What?
Yeah, we had to learn it all the way over, and I said, "Baby, I don't have the capacity." He said, "Can you write a paper about this? If you write a paper about this, I will let you pass the class." I said, "Baby, I will do it. Let me write this paper because I'm a writer." So getting through all of that, we got to the process where I was at a job, and when I was at that job, they needed like program booklets. My aunt was starting her tax business. And this is with Publisher, Microsoft Publisher, where I was doing all of this. They wanted t-shirt designs for this and that. So I went through the process and I pulled out Microsoft Publisher and I started designing all sorts of stuff. And then everybody loved it. It was the best thing since sliced bread for them. And one of my mentors named Wendy, she came up to me and she was working at the Art Institute of Atlanta. And she said, "Do you know you can get paid for what you're doing?" And I was like, "What you mean paid for what I'm doing?"
You
So
say money?
yeah, so I went through that process and decided to go to school for that. During that time period, I ended up having a miscarriage. I went through a lot through that whole process. And then after going through all of that, um, fast forward to Black Friday, about maybe before the pandemic, this lady came to me and wanted just a Black Friday flyer. And I was like, "Okay, cool. I don't mind giving you a Black Friday flyer. Cool." I looked for that lady's business the following year. It did not exist. It was a hair business. And that irritated and bothered my soul, knowing the statistics that black businesses, normal businesses last at least 24 months. Black businesses last 18 months on average. She didn't even make it back 12 months. Okay. So it gave me a passion to want to know more, to understand more about branding, to understand more about execution, to understand more about making money, to
To help the
understand more
people.
about those things. And, going through the pandemic and, working with different people, launching profitable events, helping people make tons of money. And through the hustle of the pandemic, I did get tired. Like I got so tired and stressed out, I actually ended up gaining in the pandemic probably like 150 to 200 pounds. I was taking care of everything and everybody else, but I wasn't taking care of me. So, yeah. And that's where we are today. I've recently had to revamp myself, my business, and everything, and go back and be like, I got to take care of me. So then I had surgery last year, weight loss surgery last year. So is helping me. I've lost 180 pounds. So losing that 180 pounds is giving me a lease on life And at the moment where I was like at my biggest 551 pounds, I wanted to die. So then I started holding on to doing funeral programs for people because I'm like, in your worst moments, I want to provide peace for you. I want to give you a vision for this funeral program. I will add angel wings on there, even if they're not an angel on this world. We will do the best that we can. So that's where we are.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And what I love about it is with what you do, like you are providing a service to people at the moment that they need it the most.
Hmm.
So I got one more question on that, and then we're gonna go into something else. How do you keep your emotions out of it? Like, how do you like check out after you're done? Because I know it's got to be hard, like dealing with funeral flyers, dealing with obituaries all day. How do you not like get into a depression because that's what you're doing?
Well, most of the time, I don't know these people. Um, and if it's somebody like I did a funeral for a boy that I used to like watch. I used to babysit him as a
Mm,
baby, and he ended up getting shot by over some stupid stuff. Like this kid walked up to him, shot him because he was defending his sister. Okay. And he was trying to calm the situation down. He wasn't trying to fight nobody. He just trying to calm the situation down. He ended up succumbing to his injuries months later, and that happened in May where he passed away, and they had the whole funeral and everything. Um, I cried. I was putting together, but I put my heart into it. I let my creativity speak for the love that I had for him. You know what
mhm.
I'm saying? The love, who he was, how everything was created. I wanted to make this goodbye that I gave him the goodbye that would take him, that he would be proud of and honored because he was such a kind person. Now they recently ended up catching the person who killed him. Um,
Um,
and I'm very appreciative for that. But I'm glad that on that day I was able to say, I'm trying to see if I got it because I went through and I had designed fans and oh, there it is over there. Let me grab it. I'm so sorry.
you
I
fine.
I made all of these things because I loved him. You know what I'm saying? And
You
that was
probably didn't
probably
even charge extra for all the other extra stuff that you did.
I didn't charge anything for it. I didn't charge anything for it. You know what I'm saying? I did it out of my passion. I made sure his story was told. I was able to go through and be like, okay, yeah, let me tell the story. Now, the one I did in August was for my uncle. Now, when I did his funeral, I had just did his retirement party. Okay, had just did his retirement party in June, and he passed away in August. He hadn't even been retired long. He had been with the Seminole County school system for 46 years. And when I did it, it was more so frustrating for me as I was going through the process because I was trying to have people to understand, have my aunt to understand. I know you're grieving, but we gotta like push through the process. So I was frustrated because I was more frustrated with her because I was like, can we do it this way? And can we, trying to push her through a system because I'm not gonna lie to you, working with family is very, very difficult. It's
You ain't
hard.
never lied.
It's hard, and especially when you're the person that has the skill, it's hard because you like,
They see
okay.
you as that little kid that they've always known. You don't know nothing. What you about to tell me?
But here's the thing, they know that I know what I know, but every single system that I set in place for being able to accept like pictures, for example, or things like that, they circumvented all of those. Like they went around, they was like, oh, I sent it this way, I sent it that way, I sent it
I
this
sent it
way.
through text message. I sent it in your email. I didn't
Yeah.
ask you to do it. I asked you to follow this system.
Yeah, and honestly, that is one of the reasons that, and here's the thing. A lot of businesses, including myself, and I had to figure this out. Your system is not your technology. Your system is your method of working. So when you find your method of
Say that
working and
again
your
for the ones in the back that are deaf.
when you find your method of working, you have to go through and be like, okay, this is how it works. This is how I'm able to function. You don't make it so rigid where you can't be flexible, but you have to have some type of organization in that way. So a lot of times, I know in the past when I was developing my systems and trying to understand systems, I went through and I was following this person and that person as they jumped from Honeybook and all of these things and woo woo woo. And I was like, oh my God, let me go use this. And
Mm-hmm.
then as they're going through and using all of these forms of technology, I'm still lost because I didn't write down the customer process that I wanted them to go through. It in every single thing, every single part of your business, you have to have a customer journey that you define. Like when you come in contact with my content, when you come in contact with my mailer, when you come in contact with this, when you come in contact with this podcast, my video, or whatever, what is the next steps I want you to follow? So when I did his funeral, it was more so a a reflection to for me to be able to tell his story, because I'm telling your story that you were loyal to a company for 46 years, and even up on your deathbed, like when you died, you had so much love. That church was packed. And I was down there, and a lot of the stuff I created and designed, I actually got a round of applause after designing the funeral program, and people were like, there wasn't a dry eye in the house.
Mm.
Um, Going through that process is weird because you know I knew him. He was a kind man. We didn't have like individual conversations, but he was proud of me, and my goal was to make him proud even in his death.
I like that. And I feel like now I've never had to do a design like that, but I can tell you as a preacher, one of the hardest funerals that I ever had to preach was for my grandfather, which I was named after. And it was like I walk in that church for that funeral. When I tell you it was standing room only in that church, and remind you, I'm a year and 2 months into my ministry. I'm a young buck. I'm sitting in here, I'm walking in this office. There's all these big wigs, preachers that I've known for years that I've looked up to sitting up in this office. And I'm like, why am I, of all people, why am I the one about to do this? I had a good friend of mine to this day, still, he came over there to me. He didn't know what I was thinking, but he came over there to me. He said, God told me to tell you, he picked you for this reason. You are chosen. You're gonna be able to do it. Got up there, pushed my heart out. I was just trying to make sure that God was pleased and He was pleased. My grandfather was pleased. I
And
think I pushed my emotions back. I did not let my emotions out. But as soon as I finished that eulogy, I walked out for a quick second and I had my few tears. And then I'm like, all right, let me get back in here. But the rest of while this funeral is still going on, like, okay, I've done had my tears for a couple of seconds. Let me get back in here. So I totally understand what you're saying.
yeah, it's difficult. When you think about it, one thing that I don't play with is death, and a lot of people um for me play with death. I don't know if you saw that trend online where like makeup artists and hairstylists were going through and using like the front of funeral programs to advertise, talking about book me because I'm killing it. Like that's goofy. Like
Dude,
that's goofy. And a lot of people will go through and hire people. um like graduation season is coming up soon. um
I already think I know where you're going.
and people and birthdays are coming up soon, they always want to have bodies floating on the screen or on the flyer or got clouds on there, and you just sitting there wondering like, are they
Yeah.
dead? When did they get out? What happened? What happened? How did they die? And
Honey,
I'm looking online, and I'm like, but that goes to show the way you were able to make it through that funeral was because you were meant for this. You were created for this. You were designed for this, right? There are a lot of people that believe, oh, I'm just going to pick up Photoshop. I'm just going to pick up Canva. I'm just going to pick up Adobe Illustrator or any other free application that they want to get and say, I'm a designer, or they want to pick up a camera and say, I'm a photographer because they like, I can get money or I can go through and do this, and it's an easy thing to get into without any credentials. And then they don't understand printing measurements, they don't understand design measurements, and they get out there and create something ashy, broken, disgusting, and you can't even market effectively to people. Like, one thing that for a long time I had stopped working with churches because of the simple fact that they would go through the process, and I'm like, how y'all, you want to be in the community and reach the community, you're not meeting the community where they are. They're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they're on all of these, but everything that you are trying to do is ashy and broke. You don't want to invest in the community by investing in the marketing of the church. Like, Jesus created marketing. People don't want to talk about it, but the Bible is marketing for Jesus. The people that he picked those disciples effectively to be word of mouth for him even after he was gone, because he knew he would only be here 33 years. Jesus created word of mouth marketing when he wrote things, when he went through the church and he was tearing stuff up and saying, respect what I have going on. That was marketing. You're not going to come in here and disrespect the church, the laws, the bylaws. When Moses went and separated the Red Sea, that was marketing and a testament to how God will come to you and divide the sea so that you are able to get through it in hard times. This is marketing. And we don't want to understand that in the church, you cannot use the same broke, old, disgusting things that you used to do in the past and not be able to step into this new era and be able to bring people in from the community to help the church grow, because the church is going to close unless you get new members in and you understand how it's supposed to go. Going live on Facebook is not enough.
you gotta have more. One thing that I heard a good a mentor of mine say, and the older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing this truth. You are not gonna reach a Kurt Franklin generation with the Albertina Walker method.
You're
Meaning,
not.
meaning your message does not have to change. The word of God is gonna be the word of God, but the way that you deliver it, you gotta switch it up. You gotta do something different. You gotta you gotta step out of the box. That's why I'm glad. Like, one thing that happened that I'm glad of is when the pandemic got started, it made me shift the way that I did ministry. Because what it did was I'm not doing ministry just strictly within the four walls anymore. I'll be honest with you, I'm able to get more ministry by doing what I'm doing right now, podcasting. I reach more people through this way than I could ever reach inside the four walls. Well, I'm not saying this to brag, but last couple of weeks, I've been doing calculation by the end of the week. Every video and everything that I post, by the end of the week, you all, I have over 2,000 to 3,000 views on everything that I posted combined. So that means I'm reaching over 2,000 or 3,000 people. I can't do that inside the 4 walls of the church, but I can do that through this way of ministry.
And you have a responsibility to the souls that are coming in contact with your content. Like one of the things that recently happened, um I like TikTok is, and every platform is different. Every single platform is different. Your audience will be different on each platform. They'll take your content differently on each one, but you have a responsibility for the content you produce on how it affects people, for the things that you say, and you have to be responsible for those things. I don't know if you saw in the news about the boy that was a LSU. He was a football player. I don't remember
Mhm.
which team he was. He was a football player, and he was blamed for a car accident that he did not do. And the public's opinion, not only did the officer lie about Kyan Lacey, but he lied about it, and then all of the podcasters, all of the Twitter people, they basically said you're a criminal, you're guilty, this and this. These people now, since the video has come out, they automatically are like, oh man, I'm sorry. Who the who
What's I gonna do now?
No one gives a fuck. I'm sorry about that, but no one cares about your apologies now. He's dead. Y'all caused so much depression in that child that he did not feel that there was a level of getting out.
Mm.
He didn't feel that he could reach out to a pastor because the pastors weren't accessible because they're still in the four walls of the church. A lot of the word that he needed was still in the four walls of the church. It wasn't there based on who he was, where he was at, and what he was participating in, because it literally had him in a chokehold with his depression. But now y'all want to give apologies, and he's gone. He's not coming back. If an apology could revive somebody, my uncle would come back from 2011 and be alive. My aunt from a few years ago would come back and be alive. But apologies mean zero, zilch, nada, nothing. Like, are you insane? Are you okay? Because you sit here and you literally
Hey, a
depressed.
lot.
You lied, and it was be and regardless of what anybody else says, you did it because of the color of his skin, and you knew he was talented, you knew he was all of these things, and the officer that lied deserves to
He
because
deserves prison time.
this was intentional, premeditated, because you had to come up with this in your mind to force this lie to happen, to tell it to other people. This is premeditated. This is premeditated. No matter what you put out, no matter how you do it, it is premeditated, and it's because of the color of his skin. And nobody can tell me any differently. The same way they found that boy hanging on that HBCU campus. I don't know why people, after Charlie Kirk was murdered, instantly went to HBCUs and black people like we did it. We didn't do it. But because the word, and this is again the responsibility of the word you're producing, because the word that is within the four walls of the church is not louder than the word that is being put out in these streets, that has been distorted
Yeah.
and being uh perverted in such a way that it destroys families, it destroys people, it destroys souls. So how is it that the devil is louder than the church that y'all are holding to in the four walls of the church? So again, you have to take the marketing of what you believe for the church and put it out there. Y'all think marketing, and a lot of us and a lot of people have believed that marketing is bad because people don't want to be sold to. Okay, people don't want to be sold to. That's fine. You have tons of information in the Bible that you can go through and actually teach people in so many different ways. You can create study guides in Canva. You can create video, like 5 minute study things on it and put it on YouTube. It's so many other things that we could do that could have reached and been louder than the people who perverted his word and ended up making Christianity into a way to push racism. That is not God's word. I don't know. I probably went off on a tangent, but
No,
yeah,
it was needed. It was needed. It was needed because, in all honesty, that is the world that we're living in now, where people would rather hear a lie than the truth because the lie is more entertaining and the truth don't sell. But what we have to do is people like you and me, we have to continue to be consistent, continue to speak loud, and continue to let people know, like, look, there is another way to do things.
there
So
is.
we're gonna close it out like this. On Will Talk Monday, we have what is called the Will Talk Moment. Right now, what we're gonna have is what we call the Boss Corner. So what that is you are gonna tell my audience where they can find you at, and then you also gonna tell them where they can get back in contact with you, and you also going to leave them with some word of encouragement. And I believe, and anything that you might have coming up, we're going to let you announce that as well.
All right. Well, hello everybody. I hope I didn't offend you, but if I did, you're gonna have to deal with that, or you can talk to me and we can deal with why you feel that way. I have no problem. I am an open book. I am Cortesia Oxford, also known as the branding architect on all platforms. Because consistency is key, baby. If you need to be able to talk to me about branding, about marketing, about design, feel free to reach out to me. Um, at your earliest convenience. You can find me at thebrandingarchitect.co. You can also find me for your funeral programs and things of that sort at heavenlyfarewells.com. But if you want a direct template, go to store.thefuneralvault.com. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed in everything that I have going on. I will be soon having a retreat. It's a video retreat where I will be showing people how to go live and how to create content in a confident way. And I will be opening it up to 40 people where I will be recording your reels and content for you. And that will be good to start your new year off. So we're going to eat, we're going to record content. I have my handy dandy new camera bag, and we are going to get to the meat and potatoes and recording and getting your content together. So I appreciate this opportunity, James. Um, I look forward to, working with you again.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. You all, we see and I have some great things in store. Like y'all don't even know it. Like we are working on some major things behind the scenes. This will not be the last time you all see her face. Trust and believe me. Like get used to seeing that face. Like you- just get ready because it's gonna be seen a lot more often. So as I always say, sometimes our disappointments are nothing more than God's appointments. Meaning some things that we look at as bad, God is only turning it around for our good. Stay blessed, and be a blessing to someone else. And I will see y'all on Friday. Peace. Love y'all.
Bye.